welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to be here with a new video. If you follow me on Instagram at all, you will know that I was in Paris for a few days. It was a mother-daughter trip and I just got back and I filmed this tutorial the other day and it was like a jet-lagged zombie doing makeup. So I scrapped the entire video and I slept and now I am back. So I wanted to do a kind of shimmery, a little bit smoky eye for you today using all one palette, and this is the Stila Eyes Are the Window palette in the color Soul. And I took this on my trip and I used it pretty much every day, and I did not want to reach for any other palettes, and I've been using it also now that I'm back because I feel like it gives just a beautiful look to the eyes. As you can see, it's a little bit shimmery, a little bit smoky, and I get so many compliments whenever I wear these shadows, so I wanted to do a tutorial of my favorite combination of the shadows in this palette. And if you watched my Sephora VIB sale haul video, this is pretty much identical or very, very close to the eye makeup that I was wearing in that video. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you enjoy this tutorial. Okay guys, since this is going to be a talk through tutorial, I wanted to just go ahead and do my base first since I know this is probably going to be a little bit longer video anyway, and I wanted to focus on the eyes. So what I've already done is first I primed with the Hourglass Veil Primer. I love this primer, especially now that it's moving into the summer months because it has SPF 15 in it and it really helps mattify the skin because it is oil free. So this is awesome. And then I applied kind of a new foundation combination that I haven't used before. I did my Armani Luminous Silk, but I mixed it with the Cover FX Custom Cover Drops. And this helps give this foundation a little bit more fuller coverage, and it also mattifies it slightly. So this is the first time I've ever tried this combo. I'll report back with what I think. It definitely gave me fuller coverage and did mattify the skin a little bit. And then of course I also applied concealer, which was my typical NARS Creamy mixed with the Maybelline Age Rewind, and then I just set everything with powder. I'll list everything that I used down below as well in case you're interested, but we're focusing on the eyes today. The first thing you want to do before you do any eye makeup, in my opinion, is do your brows. You don't want to do your whole eyes, then you do your eyebrows and you're like, oh, that doesn't really look like I thought it would. So I'm just gonna go and lightly fill in my brows. This is pretty standard. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the color Caramel. I've been using this combo for years and I love the Brow Wiz, especially in Caramel because it's a little bit of a warmer tone that I think looks really beautiful on fair skin. I actually ran out of this when I was on vacation and I was like, okay, so we're gonna see sites and see everything. We also need to find a Sephora because I'm out of my brows. Okay, so brows are filled in and I'm gonna go ahead and set that with a brow gel now. So I'm using the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. You could use a clear mascara. Maybelline makes one. You could also use a very light hair gel with a mascara wand. Brush through those hairs and set my eyebrows in place. So now we're ready to do the eyes. I'm going to first take the lightest color in the palette, which is a matte shade called Light, coincidentally, and I am going to go ahead and set my whole eye with this. I applied some concealer earlier, just the Maybelline Age Rewind, and I'm just gonna go ahead and set all of that. This is gonna create a great base for the shadows, make sure that nothing sticks. You could also use a, MAC paint pot or something if you wanted to do an eye base. I'm going to take our first color now with a big fluffy brush. This is an E35, and I'm gonna take this medium brown matte shade, and this is the color Individual, and I'm going to apply that above the crease. And when I'm doing this, I like to look in the mirror because you can see how my eye shape is. I have it kind of droops down just right here. So what I like to do is to bring the color up in that area, because if I just applied everything just in a normal kind of arc, you wouldn't see the color there because of that little bit of a droop. So I like to look in the mirror and bring the color up right there. And of course you can play with this depending on what your eye shape is. I'm kind of just tailoring it to my eye shape and using windshield wiper motion. So now that our transition color is laid down, we can go ahead and move to the crease. And for that, I'm gonna use this slightly darker brown, which is also a matte shade, and this is the shade Being. And for this, I'm going to use a tapered blending brush, and this is actually from Hakuhodo. This is one of my favorite brushes. You can see that the tip there is really quite tapered, so it's easy to really buff things into the crease. So I'm going to just buff that in the crease, and I start in the outer corner and kind of swirl it just to get some of the color down, and then I bring it into the crease. So I'm just gonna go right into the crease with my brush, really getting in there and just using windshield wiper motions to buff everything out. Now I'm going to go back in with that E35 and a little bit more of that kind of medium tan and just blend everything out. I'm gonna go ahead and start on the lid, and for that I'm going to use a Sigma Exact Blend. This is an E32, and I like this one because it's really flat and fluffy, and I can use one side for one color and then flip it over and use the other side for another color. So I'm going to focus on this second row for the lid, and I like to think of your eyelid in 3 parts. So you have kind of this inner 1/3, the middle of the lid, and the outer 1/3. And a lot of times what I like to do is kind of gradiate the colors. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply Kitten in the inner 1/3, and then Affection in the middle, and then this other color, Character, on the outer 1/3, and then blend those together. And I feel like that gives a really pretty effect, and it really brightens up the inner corner as well, because we're using the lightest color there. So I'm gonna go in with Kitten and just start applying that to kind of this inner 1/3 area of the lid. And we're gonna use this also for an inner corner highlight, so you can bring that down to the inner corner as well. And I did apply my concealer, as I said before, but I haven't had any issues with fallout with any of these shadows. So now that I have that going in the inner 1/3, I'm going to take the middle color, which was Affection, and apply that to the center of the lid. And I'm really packing these colors on because I really want to have a really pretty shimmery lid here, and these colors have great color payoff. So I'm applying that to the center of the lid, and I'm just kind of blending it into Kitten so that they go together seamlessly. Okay, so now we're ready for the outer 1/3, and for that I'm going to use the color right here again, and I'm using a pencil brush for this because I want to kind of create a slight wing, and I feel like a pencil brush, you can really do that. So I'm just starting to apply this to the outer V, just kind of making that V shape in the outer corner, which is going to smoke that out, and then I am going to bring it into the crease a little bit. So then I am going to go back in with the kind of medium copper shade that we used in the center of the lid, and I'm going to blend that into our outer corner color. So the key here is just making sure that everything stays really blended. You can always pack on more color and kind of refine the look you're going for, refine the shape. And then the last thing I'm going to do before obviously I repeat everything on the other eye is I'm going to go back in with that darkest matte brown shade and just bring everything through, and that's just gonna blend this out even more. I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat everything on the other side now. I'm gonna go in first with Kitten and apply that to the inner 1/3, and then now going in with that middle copper shade, and then going in with my pencil brush and that slightly darker shade. Okay, and then I'm just going to again go back in with a little bit of that matte brown. For the last part, I am going to do a brow bone highlight, and I'm going to use just, this is like a flat shader brush, and I'm going to take the light color, which is that matte lightest shade and apply that to the brow bone. That's not going to give you a really, you know, shimmering brow bone highlight, but it's just going to make sure that you get a little bit of definition on the brow bone. So we're finished with the top lid, and now we can go ahead and go for eyeliner. And I'm going to use a liquid liner for this. This is my Tom Ford eye defining pen, and this is a great eyeliner. It is a little bit pricey, but I have found that it's very easy to use and it really does last a long time. And I really can't talk when I do this because it's gonna be bad. First, I like to start just on the eyelid and get that shape before I do the wing. Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and do the wing. Okay, so now that eyeliner is complete, I'm going to go ahead and just curl my lashes and apply mascara. And I'm just going to use Buxom mascara for this. This is kind of my tried and true. It does a really good job of getting right into the base of the lashes, which is great since my lashes are blonde and it's really hard to get right down into the base of the lashes. Okay, so for lashes, I'm going to use Ardell 110s, and these are a very simple lash. They are symmetrical on the lash band, so they really just open the eye up. I'm sure you have seen this plenty of times, so I am going to just go and apply these off camera and come back once I have finished. I really wanted to use these Ardell Demi 120s, but as you can see, I can only find the one lash when I was going through my drawer trying to find the lashes, so I am using these 110s instead. If you saw my Sephora VIB sale haul video, I was using the Demi 120s in that video. Okay, so lashes are on and we can go ahead and finish up the eyes. So for the lower lash line, I'm going to do a mixture of this matte brown and the more shimmery brown that we used on the outer corner. And I'm just going to sweep that through just about the middle. And then I'm going to take the two lighter matte shades and just put those more on the inner part of the lower lash line. Okay, and then for the inner corner, I'm using the color Kitten again. And I'm just going to pop that right in the inner corner, which gives a really pretty highlight. Okay, so now the eyes are done and we can just go ahead and finish up the face. So for bronzer, I'm going to use something that's a little bit newer in my collection. This is the Tom Ford matte bronzer, and this is in the color Terra. And this actually just came out in the smaller sized packaging. It used to be available in the larger packaging. So I picked up the two bronzers in the smaller packaging because if you don't want to do the full splurge for the full size bronzer, this is a really great alternative. For blush, I'm going to use the Hourglass blush, and this is in Incandescent Electra, and this was one of the blushes that was in the 3-pan blush palette, which I never picked up because I didn't love some of the blushes in the palette. So I was really excited when they came out with this blush just on its own because it is really beautiful. And there is some highlight in this blush, as you can probably tell, so it might not be for everyone. And now the last thing we need to do is lips, and I am gonna go for something neutral. If you watched my haul video, I used the Too Faced Melted Strawberry along with the NYX High Voltage in the color Free Spirit. And it was really bold, but for this I kind of wanted to do something on how you could tone it down because there is a big focus on the eyes here. So I'm going to use NYX Butter in the color Snowcap. And then I am going to go in with a little gloss, and this is just the Charlotte Tilbury gloss in Portabello Girl. Okay, so that is the finished look for this tutorial. I really hope you liked it. One thing I did want to mention with this palette is you can go back in, which I have done also in the past, with either this black, this silver shade, which is really pretty, a mixture of the two, or more of this dark glittery brown with your pencil brush and sweep it through the crease. And you can do this once you've applied everything, your eyeliner, your mascara, your lashes if you want lashes. You can go back in with your pencil with your pencil brush and deepen this kind of where you have your wing and the crease area, and this is going to make it even darker, even smokier. If you want to take it from day to night, that is something that's a really good trick to do. So you can also do that with this palette, and just makes it so versatile. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this look. I'm so happy to be back, and stay tuned for my next video coming in a couple days. Bye.